Hello, guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads Nigeria emulate US, Israel, UK, and other European countries as they take this bold step. Alright, but before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. Alright, let's look at the news in detail. The Minister of Foreign Affairs has directed all its mission abroad to compile a list of willing Nigerian nationals who wish to come back home. Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, disclosed that this was equal to requests received from Nigerians stranded abroad amid the coronavirus pandemic. She, however, said that the MFA has instructed that the financial implication will be borne by the prospective evacuees who will be compulsorily quarantined when they return. According to the statement on Friday by the head Media and Public Relations Unit NIDCOM, Abdul Raham Balogun, interested citizens should inform the embassy in the country of residence about their intention to return to Nigeria. It said, and I quote, the interested Nigerians are advised to inform the missions in the various countries they are in, which will then collate and coordinate with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. To this end, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa urged Nigerians stranded abroad willing to return home to key into this federal government gesture by providing information to the mission in their respective host countries. It has been reported that some countries, including the UK, US, Israel, and member states of the European Union, had begun evacuating their citizens from Nigeria using emergency flight permitted by the federal government. All right, that's the news, and it's really a good one for especially those who are there. That's I'm talking about those who are in those countries, especially countries like Italy, where this pandemic is really affecting them. But however, before we go into discussion, we'd like to look at what Nigerians have to say about this step that is about to be taken by the federal government. This one said, my oh my, Nigerians who wanted to return home, I can't hear you well. To return into no electricity, mother of potholes on the road, lesser fever epidemics, 55 unemployment rate, hidden kidnappers, say it again, return home, while able doctors have taken flight into US under guise of further education. I raised my case with Abba Kyari. Another person here said, this country is a shame. How do you expect your citizen to pay their flight ticket? My brother, even myself, I'm so amazed that people whom you are evacuating from another country, you are expecting them to pay their own flight ticket. He said, did American and European ask their citizen to pay? This is the real definition of failed state. Make I pay my flight ticket, come back to Nigeria. What a joke. So someone should tell me, why is it called stranded? Another person now pick up from there and said, Nigeria is doing much better than Europe, UK, and US. Check the figures from when we got our first index case and compare proportionately. Nigeria is doing well. Yeah, we know Nigeria is actually doing well. There is no doubt about it. Though a lot of people still believe that the whole thing that we are hearing right now is absolute scam, that there is no truth that coronavirus is in Nigeria, that most of what we are seeing is actually the case of malaria and the likes. But however, let's leave that aside. Nigeria is doing absolutely well, and that's why they feel it's needful for some of our citizens who are suffering in countries like Italy and the likes to run back home, at least to secure protection for the period of time where this pandemic is ruining the international war. But at the same time, if you feel these people are stranded and you truly want to help, I see no reason why you have to tell them to pay their own flight ticket coming back to Nigeria, when you know that wherever they are, most of them have not been working for a period of time now, though the country has been helping out with some form of stipends, some form of stimulus packages and the likes. But hey, being a country of repute, being a country that tries to make its citizens understand that you want them home, why would you be expecting them to pay money? When you know that even as they're coming home, they are coming into no electricity, they are coming into all manner of terrible things like daily kidnapping, rape, all manner of frustration in the country, and you're expecting them to pay their own flight ticket. Some of them will prefer to die over there. I think it's not wise at all for you to expect them to do this. Nigeria have the capability to make sure all its citizens return back, especially those who are willing, but I know that so many will not accept coming down to Nigeria because of some of the things that they have heard thus far in abroad. It has not been a funny one for a lot of people abroad. And then another person here replies that young man who said that Nigeria is actually doing well in the control of coronavirus. Who is talking about the number here? European evacuated their citizens from Nigeria recently. They were not asked to pay for the flight ticket back to Europe. Why would our ask be different? Don't tell me Nigeria is doing great. Now so them soldier, they key people for Europe and America. Now so electricity no day for Europe and America. Now so money no day for people to eat for Europe and America. Guy, talk with that thing a big. That's another person trying to respond there. This one says, who told you they were not able to pay? But however, this one said, for your information, I live in Germany, and before the evacuation process started, the German government budgeted 50 billion euros to bring their citizens back to Germany who were stranded and are willing to come back home. So don't tell me what I know. Wow, this is really, this goes to fuel the anger of a lot of people. Imagine a country like Germany had already voted out 50 billion naira to ensure that they get all their citizens from all over the world back to Germany. That's an indication. That's a show of true love. It's not what we thought. How can you be expecting those people to pay for coming down to Nigeria? Does it mean that we don't have enough flight to send down to United States of America or to other countries of the world where we have willing people who are going to come back? And you are expecting them to pay when you know that for a while now economic activity has ceased in those states. For example, in Italy, you can't tell me that people are still working in Italy because right now there's a lockdown. The rate of increase of this pandemic in Italy, it's outrageous. So there is no way that they can allow people to continue working, which means that their financial capacity has really gone down. And you are expecting them that as you are coming down, you have to pay. How do they even survive here in Nigeria? Most of them have spent most of their lives there. How do you expect them to survive in Nigeria? It's absolutely wrong. No matter how you're going to be looking at this, it's totally wrong. It's a good gesture based on the fact that we are managing this pandemic well. It's a good one. But for you to tell them to pay, therefore means you're not even willing to help them. That's the truth. All right, then let's just read one or two again. This one says, where is your DC test kit in Ajegunle, Sabongari, Amokoko, Nyanya? Keep fooling yourself with blackboard figure. Una go here and plenty by June. I beg, we don't want here, my brother. I know what you are saying is absolutely true. What this person is trying to say is that there are most persons who may be testing positive to this. But the issue is that we don't even have enough testing kits, to take care of the testing. The information we had heard about this NCDC that's going to their centers, isolation center, the information is that a lot of people are queuing up there without the readiness of the center to even test them. A man cried out the other day when he took the daughter. He said as early as 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, they went down to the NCDC center, but they stayed there for as long as evening time, and the daughter was not tested. Nothing of any sort was done to the daughter in terms of medicals. And the man just said, hey, he doesn't give a hoot if the child is going to die, no problem, but he can't stay again. because it's overly unproductive for him to just sit back. The child is hungry, the child is very sick, the child is exposed, and you want her to stay out, without anything being done. So that's the challenge. Like what this guy is saying, I really understand what he's saying, because he's looking at the fact that the reason why we feel that they have copped this thing so well is because we do not have enough test kit to go around. By the time we hit May, June, July, if not for the mercies of our God, it therefore means what we are going to see will be unthinkable. But however, we are hoping that God will put everything under control. Now, the last one I'm going to take here says, really, so many people have been tested. Where are those testing facilities located? I read an article a few days ago where the Nigerian Center for Disease Control official had no clue where testing facilities were or which department was responsible for coordinating anything. They kept redirecting members of the public who called to obtain very basic information regarding testing in case they or their loved ones become sick. So if a federal agency keep giving people the run around, how on earth can the number they are churning out be accurate? Nigeria isn't doing great as you allege. Without proper and large-scale testing, whatever data you realize would be misleading. Now one says this is from the Canadian immigration website. The government of Canada is working with Canadian Airlines to ensure that stranded Canadians are offered a reasonable commercial price for their return ticket home. Canadians who are unable to pay and who have no available source of funds to return home are encouraged to apply for an emergency repayment loan. That's another person coming up there with something different. This one says, so the case we have here now is not enough. Nigeria, my country. Few politicians wants to smuggle their family with virus to Nigeria. Chai, una no go die well at all. And the last one here, which I want to take, says, those who wasted our monies when oil price was $140 per barrel, that's $140 per barrel, built no hospital, road, standard railway lines, or factories, are feeding ignorant Nigerians with lies and disinformation. And now someone reply here and says Fulani headsmen were not having a field day during those days as well, and the citizens had a lot of monies in their pocket. The wealth of the middle class increased significantly and reached a peak in 2014. It was a period of new home construction as well as luxury good consumption. During the oil boom, Porsche dealership was established in Lagos. Champagne consumption increased among fund seekers. Unemployment rate was at an all-time low, and many new millionaires were created. In fact, the agricultural sector became the most profitable it has been under Akinwumi Adesina. But Jonathan messed up, and we thought Buhari would be a new broom that sweeps clean, only to find out he's an ethnically minded president. All right, a lot of things there for me to read, but I just want to leave it there. Let's look at this critically. Nigerians, first of all, it's worthy of note that Nigeria have the expectation of most countries was that this virus thing was going to really increase when it entered Africa, but to some extent it's been curtailed, and that's why the federal government is encouraging encouraging that Nigerians should stay back home. But where there is a stumbling block is the fact that they've not provided any stimulus package to help take care of the needs of Nigerians. And we know that the system we operate here, especially when it comes to working, most people are only hustling. They go out looking, scamping for jobs. They get the job, whatever they make for the day, they come back home, eat it, and the next day they go out. So for you to tell them to stay back, it's not going to be possible, because most of them are daily workers. They are not salary workers. You understand? So that's where the whole thing got really messed up. And because of that, youths are not willing to stay back at home. Now, that's on a good note. But talking about evacuating some of our people, I I believe that we are trying to, follow up with what United States, Israel, Germany, UK are trying to do for their own citizens. Even here in Nigeria, they feel that their side is more protected. The reason is not really understood, because even just that their step triggered a lot of fear in the minds of so many people that it has never happened in the history for them to take that kind of thing. But however, we know that God is in charge. But right now, what the suggestion by the federal government is actually a good one. But for them to say that their own people will be the one to pay, those evacuees will be the ones that will pay their own air flight back to Nigeria. For me, I do not really support that, because it's not a good one. Most of them are actually stranded. When I mean stranded, they are stranded. So telling them to pay their way back will not help at all. But another thing is that we may have little or very little number of persons who may be willing to come down to Nigeria. Reason is because our economy is nothing to write home about. The level of arbitrary killings that has been going on, things have been happening. For example, kidnapping is so rampant, ritualism is so rampant in Nigeria. We've had cases of rape, Fulani headsmen, just because of this pandemic. They have been cuffed for a while, but before now, a lot of funny things have been happening in the country. A lot of those who left this country believe that they have escaped. So telling them to come back, they will want to at least try to stay there and watch how this whole issue would be resolved before than coming down to Nigeria. So right now, I don't even know if it's going to be possible for such to happen. But however, I would like to leave it there. Go to our comment section. Let's interact. Do you think that this gesture by the federal